Hi, Merry Me everyone. I hope you're all well. I feel very fortunate to be here today to make this video. It's Sagittarian New Moon energy. It was exact yesterday, and I decided that I wanted to make a video to show you one of the spreads that I'm using for myself and for clients and friends. And I thought I would do that by demonstrating a reading that I'm going to do for myself. And this reading is going to be, this is going to sound odd to some of you when you hear the name of the spread, but this is going to be to gain guidance and wisdom about my main theme intention for the Sagittarian New Moon. I have smaller goals and intentions that I set, and they're not really smaller or bigger, but I was talking in a recent video about this, and this intention that I had is to once again return to a time, but in the future, so new, where I'm able to really feel at home and at ease with my spirituality, and like I have enough time and space and privacy to live my spirituality the way that I would like to do, and start participating in the S-bats and the Sabbats again, and feeling like I really have enough time to connect with spirit through those venues. And the reason I said it might sound a little odd is because we're in Sagittarian New Moon energy, and Sagittarius is a fire sign, and the spread that I'm going to be demonstrating and using here is actually the Navigational Sea Star Spread that I created using 2 of my water decks. But I do feel like this is the right timing, and it fits, because Sagittarius is very much about arching that arrow and pointing to the future, about freedom and expansion and liberation and religion and spirituality. So hopefully this will go well, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to. Okay, so I'll just need to shuffle my decks. I will be showing you the spread. I'm going to take a picture of it and show you what each little arm on the starfish symbolizes and represents. So stay tuned, that'll probably wind up in the end of the video. But for now, I'm going to read it without showing the spread, because it's just too complicated with the way the room is set up and the computer is set up. And now I have my mermaid's deck. So the 2 water decks that I have that I'm using are the Navigators of the Mystic Sea Tarot deck and the Oracle of the Mermaids deck, which is by Lucy Cavendish. Some of you may have seen me use this deck before. I'm just going to take a moment to put my intentions into the deck. Oh, Spirit's reminding me that I forgot part of that. So my intention is to do this reading to gain guidance and wisdom about how to achieve my intention, my goal, to reconnect with my spirituality and feel free and liberated with it, and able to enjoy it the way that I would like to, while still having my other needs met and the other aspects of my life taken care of. So that means being able to work a job, and my financial situation, and my romantic relationship, and my friendships, and everything included. So without it hindering my other goals, and in a way that allows me to move forward with my other goals in life as well, and stay grounded and take care of necessities of life. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. 10, so I'm going to move forward and go ahead and draw the cards. Alright, so this is generally a 10 card reading, unless my guides or spirit prompt me to turn over additional cards or leave one out for some reason, which they very rarely prompt me to leave any out in my spreads. Sorry if you hear that background noise. We're working on that right now. So I have 5 categories that I'm looking at here. There's the long-term block or obstacles. There's the short-term, more recent block or obstacles. And another way to think of this is the energy cycles or energy habits. So patterns. So these, with the long term, this is often something subconscious that we don't realize that we keep repeating that gets us into similar situations. So this reading is really good to do for areas where you feel stuck with a situation, or like you're starting to move forward, but maybe there is that long-term block, something that you've really been struggling with for a while. I would usually say years. And then there's the shorter term one, which can be months or weeks or immediate, right now what's happening, that block. And then the next category is the medicine or the healing energy, or action steps, short term, that you can start taking and should take. And then we have message from spirit, ultimate solution, or new way to look at the situation. I know that might be a little confusing for some of you, but if you hang on, that'll potentially get tied in, you'll understand better. And then we have, fifth one is the long-term healing, medicine, action steps. Again, it's like that short-term one, only long-term, so that's what you need to, in some situations, it's a direct replacement of old patterns. You replace them with these new ones for long-term success, but it's really a stabilizing force of habits and ways of thinking and such to practice for the long term. So I'm very excited to look at my cards, and I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to do that. Maybe I'll show you the spread now as well. Okay, so after sitting with the cards for a while and looking them over and taking some notes, I do have some insight. I have a new idea of what to follow this up with as well. I'm going to start with the way that Spirit reworded the intent of the reading and Spirit's overall additional advice, which is the point of the star, the top point of the star. I think I also called this the solution before, but it is part of the solution. There's the whole spread is about the solution. So there's a few things here. It's saying that I'm talking about my fertility or my potential, and it's talking about balance and it's talking about, I'm actually just going to read part of this out of the booklet because it's so interestingly put. It says, this card represents the beginning of a voyage or travel in general, or a move to another area. And that is a big part of what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm trying to move to a different area that's more conducive to what I'm looking for my home environment and my life. And that would, excuse me, that would better support me in this intent that I've set. So issues of privacy, being one, and comfortability, and so forth. So that's an interesting thing to come up there. Part of it says, you stand at the threshold of major changes in your life and are beginning to question life's meanings. You are open to new experiences and are prepared to consecrate your time to different ways of thinking. And to do this, I need to accept the limitations of my present circumstances. And that is really powerful coming through too, because I have anxiety, and a lot of times I feel like, oh, I can't deal with this, or I've been trying to deal with this, and it's really getting to me again. It gets to me so much. And I see with the other cards too, what's going with this. But continuing on. So also accept the imperfections of those around you. Consider getting rid of extraneous objects and people. It's very interesting for that to come up, because I have been, for probably since Halloween, thinking about going through my stuff and getting rid of stuff that I no longer need, and it's something that I do every year, and it's feeling kind of tiresome, but I really want to get it done. I do want to do it. I've started doing it. It's a bigger deal than it has been on many other years' times. So it says to go ahead and do that, and then it says to question the motives of those around you, especially anyone whom you may encounter in new endeavors. And I know that that's important, looking at the rest of the cards as well, because it is telling me to rely on friendships and allies and compatible souls and interactions. It's telling me that I need certain partnerships in my life so that I can't handle everything that I've been trying to handle on my own. That in certain situations I need to find partners and people to assist me with things as part of the long-term solution, actually, that is. So down below on one of the, we would call them legs, I guess, of the star, we have the long-term blockage and obstacle. And what I gained from that, I'm not sure if you can hear me, sorry, is the pattern of the way I regard myself. There's some issues with that have been causing this situation. There's potentially an excessive need for fixing of self in certain ways. Also taking some risks without thinking them through fully, moving blindly with ignorance at times. There's imbalances of giving and receiving, and fear walls, which of course, when we talk about blockages, that's underlying like almost everything, some sort of fear wall that we've created. There's also an aspect of vanity here. This is very personal. I'm just putting it on the table, being, very honest and open, sharing this with all of you. But there's an aspect of vanity here, and sense of like perfectionism, kind of, where instead of just letting what's natural be and appreciating it and going with it, there's need to like go back and do editing and feel like things aren't good enough and they need to be tweaked. And I can see that reflected in some of the videos that I've made and some of the blog posts and things. I just think of it as the way I like to work, but I can see how there may have been an excess there that was causing me undue stress and maybe some other issues. So that's what I got for that one. And then the next one, which is the more immediate obstacles, blockages, in current situations. So as far as like, in a way, it's like how I've known about this problem for a while and I've been working on shifting it, and here's how far I've gotten. So what I have for that little leg of the starfish is acting out of desperation. I need to re-see what is before me. So I definitely understand where that's coming from. And it goes on to say that right now is a time of philosophy and shifting things through stillness and contemplation, to contemplate merging, and then to see what is best for me to do, to make thoughtful compromises and equalize friendships, and to notice subtle opportunities and be open to them. This is making a lot of sense. It makes more sense than the long-term one to me. I guess that makes sense with what I said about it being unconscious, largely, that long-term pattern stuff. And in certain ways, it's a lot easier to read cards for other people than it is for yourself, as some of you may know and understand firsthand, because of the things that we have suppressed, repressed, things that are unconscious within us, and our conscious awareness and desires. It's just easier sometimes to have that non-biased position of reading for another person rather than reading for yourself, because we're very biased ourselves. So I definitely meditated before doing this reading, and I'm going to move on. So that makes a lot of sense to me with the short-term blockages. I'm very grateful for that information, because I can certainly pin certain times where I feel like I'm acting out of desperation and where I'll procrastinate on taking certain actions because they're really unpleasant and I'm like struggling with other things, and then it becomes a more urgent matter. So that's something I'm going to further be thinking about. And then the next one was a shift up to what you would call an arm, probably, of the starfish. And this was the immediate healing medicine, action steps, etc. that can be taken. So there's, again, gaining a deeper meaning of the situation, what's going on currently, having endurance, and making sacrifices. Also connecting with friendships, compatible souls, practicing loyalty, joy, and delight. So I also understand some of where this is coming from. It makes sense. With the sacrifices thing, I think what it's telling me is that I have other immediate situations that need to be taken care of at the moment. More time and energy is going to need to go into work job and other areas of my life, rather than the places I would like to put it, spiritual places, connecting with my religion and so on, making more videos and doing things like this, like I would like to do. For the time being, I'm going to need to make a sacrifice with my time, energy, and allot it to helping out others in exchange for fiat notes, so that I can, continue paying other people for my basic needs to be met and so on. There may be some more in there. I'm sensing that there's probably some more in there where I'm going to have to sacrifice, potentially make it's less of a sacrifice than just being willing to come a little bit further out of my comfort zone than I would like to in connecting with certain people. It might be that I have to share things that I'd rather keep to myself with friends, or I don't know, just spend time helping friends that I really want to be working on things within my life. I'm not sure what's coming up, but I'm definitely getting that there's some more to it, that I'm going to have to make some sort of sacrifices to get where I want to go. So it may just be working on it rather than snapping my fingers and having it occur or something of that nature. I'm also getting to trust my intuition again with this category. So there is a need within the whole spread. There is a message connecting each of these arms and legs and backwards and forth of the starfish having to do with gaining a new perspective, looking at it from a deeper perspective, taking care of my health, breathing, meditation, and so on. So it is nice to see there, and there's also it's not saying like just females, but there is a sense of it being working with other females, or like friendships and allies, mainly being female. But it's talking about compatible souls, and I can feel it as some of it is soul family. I feel like some of my soul family is getting closer to me, and it is going to be about interacting with them and building good, balanced relationships. But it's also telling me like to have more, to be loyal, but to have more joy and take more delight in things. So I think it's asking me to kind of try to shift my way of thinking about things and try to have some joy and enjoyment and be happy as I can be in situations rather than being pulled down. So, it's like, as an example, like walking out in the rain, sometimes it's things that are a drag, trying to find joy and delight in them anyway. So that kind of ties into law of attraction and manifestation things. So that's a immediate action step. And then we have the long-term patterns and how do we word this? Long-term patterns, healing, medicine, and action steps. Breathing deeply, so that would be like meditation, and different ways of breathing deeply. So, ideas pop into my head of things I'm not doing yet, such as yoga, and I could re up my Tai Chi practice and start doing that a lot more than I have been. Actual prana, air. I do think it's largely speaking of that, the way of taking air, breathing. But it's also talking about partnerships, one-on-one partnerships, and it's telling me to take better care of my health. It's telling me to earn more money and to receive better compensation is what it's saying, to have a greater balance, because one of my subconscious blocks is blocking out various ways of receiving, because in the past, my childhood past, I've been hurt very deeply from opening myself up, receiving, and then having there be a string attached or catch, and being caught off guard. So that's something I know, I'm aware of, and it looks like I'm being asked to heal through these things, through partnerships, through increasing my health, through finding ways to earn more money, and so on. Okay, so that is what I have to share for this spread. And take that photo for you. If you would like one for yourself, go to my website and you'll find on the contact, you'll find how you can email me and let me know that you're looking for it. It's not even on my website quite yet. I will be putting the option for this up soon. These are readings that I need to meditate on for a bit. So they are readings that I prefer to do through email rather than video. Also, because I know this is somewhat less detailed, or more, I want to say encompassing, all-encompassing. It's more all-encompassing than some people would like. Some people would like very specific, what do I do right now? How do I take, what are these action steps that I need in order to accomplish my goal or to meet my intention, especially with New Year's coming up, kickstart of 2017 right around the corner. So I'm going to do a little demonstration for one of those readings as well, and I'm hoping that I'm going to use the same thing, I think. I'm hoping that it'll expand upon it for me and potentially for some others who would like to do it this way as well. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Thanks for tuning in and viewing. I'm going to get into a more comfortable position than how I'm sitting right now and be able to talk better. So until next time, merry part and merry meet again. Bye.